Today's recipe is a delicious chocolate dessert that when you cut it open, it burns out like lava. Alright, I'm not gonna make you linger. We are doing a chocolate lava cake. But did you know the original recipe was made in France in 1981 by an inspiration to me who's Michel Bras, 3 Michelin star chef. It took him about 2 years to perfect it, and it actually takes 2 days to make. So today we're gonna do a simpler version, and if you wanna see the original, drop me a comment below and I will make it. Also, while you're at it, feel free to subscribe. I see if you're already watching, may as well doing so. So today, that's what we're making, a delicious chocolate lava cake. So let's go. Alright, first thing first, we're going to line up our ramekins.
So I'm going to place my butter in a medium saucepan because I'm doing pastry. I'm using the best butter I have available, which is Emerald Grasslands. Once melted, I'm going to brush the butter into my ramekin, starting with the bottom and then going to the side. As always, make sure your strokes are going from the bottom to the top, which always help when you actually want something to rise properly and straight. Once you're done with that step, we're going to place some cocoa powder. So we're going to line up our ramekin. So I'm going to place my cocoa powder in the bottom and I'm going to twirl it around, swirl it around to coat all of the ramekin. And I'm going to just tap it to remove any excess cocoa powder that I would have. And I'm just going to set them aside and we're going to work on the next step.
Alright, and now we're going to start making the mix and we're going to bake them and that will be it. Today's recipe is fairly short. Really what I want to do is to find you a dessert that will impress your guests, that will not have you stuck in the kitchen for too long.
Alright, so for the mix, we're going to start by melting some chocolate and some butter together, which I'm going to place in a stainless steel bowl on top of a pot with water, which we call a double boiler. In the meantime, in another bowl, I'm going to mix my icing sugar with my salt and my flour, and I'm going to give that a tiny whisk just until it is thoroughly combined. Then I'm going to move on to my second mix, which is the eggs. So I'm going to place my egg and my egg yolk together. And again, I'm going to use my tiny whisk and make sure it's fully combined. And we're going to be able to move on to the next step, which is the chocolate. The key to the chocolate is actually not to overheat it. And that is why we're doing a double boiler. So you want to make sure it's melting, but the second it's melted, take it away. And then you should be able to place your hand underneath the bowl without burning. So that's how you know the chocolate is not too hot. What would happen if it was too hot, it would actually cook the eggs that we're just adding to the mix right now. So we want it to be about warm, but that's about it. And we're gonna start mixing it. Make sure you use a spatula and not a whisk so we don't incorporate any more air into our batter. Once we're happy with our eggs chocolate mixture, it's nice and smooth and fully incorporated, we're going to add our flour sugar mixture. So we're going to place the whole thing in, and again, we're going to incorporate it. It might create some lumps, and you know what? At this point, you should be able to use a whisk to remove all of these lumps. But if you sift everything properly, that shouldn't be an issue. Then you're happy with that consistency. It's nice and shiny and smooth. We're going to place it equally into 2 ramekins, making sure we use a spatula so we are not missing any of that chocolate goodness. And we're going then to place them on a little baking tray. And we're going to move on to the next.
Alright, so now I'm going to bake them for about 12 minutes at 425 Fahrenheit.
12 minutes later. And now let's take the puppies out of the oven.
Wow, these are looking beautiful. I'm going to let them rest for about a minute and I'm going to flip them over.
Well, before we eat them, we want to make sure that we remove them, right? So make sure you use a towel because the ramekin is still going to be super hot. Then we're going to dust some icing sugar on top. It's optional, but I think it makes a big difference. And now, what should we do?
All right, now let's try it. Look at that creamy goodness in the center. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. As always, recipe will be in the description below. The recipe only takes half hour. It's so easy and it's so delicious. And check out that gooey center. I mean, come on. That's just pure heaven. See you soon.